Good morning, everyone. It's News at 10 every single weekday morning, and Flav's with me this time. He's just getting out the stats for Liverpool against Maribor. We know what the scoreline was, 7-0 to Liverpool, who made history winning with the biggest amount of goals any English team has ever done in the Champions League, away from home.
Maribor ain't much, but beating any team 7-0 was incredible. Took a bit of a shine off of our magnificent draw in Real Madrid, but you know, credit where it's due. And I think they needed that. That's a convincing win over Maribor, and it's only going to improve confidence. Salah apparently was insatiable.
I've looked at the goals. I've seen the highlights, and it was it was goal after goal after goal, as you can imagine. A lot of sevens at the moment, a lot of high-scoring games. And one journalist I would like to pick out, Andy Taylor from The Guardian, who's going, I think we all knew that sooner or later Liverpool would put a bit of polish to the great work that they've been doing. We're going to go through a lot of newspapers, articles today, and there's a few people I'm actually going to pick out today, because the bullshit and hypocrisy of some people is, it's got me this morning. But that one in particular, everyone ready to go at Jurgen Klopp saying they can't score goals, they've only got one tactic. I know it's Maribor, but to go so quickly the other way, in his article in The Guardian this morning, and saying, we knew this was coming. We knew they were playing so well, and they just need to show that polish.
I mean, it's kind of a cliche, isn't it, about how a team that's attacking someone's going to get a drubbing one day. It's coming, and you know, to be fair to him, it has. There's no problem with Liverpool's attacking prowess at all, and it's not, going into the game against Tottenham. It's great for them.
And I think the point of this show, obviously, we only got 10 minutes to talk about a lot of stuff, so I don't want to go on about too much. Is that we'll look at these articles, and then we can offer up maybe a bit more of a less, it's hyperbolic a word, isn't it?
It is.
Opinion on those things, because I feel sometimes you look at the newspapers and they're just going one way or the other way, so we can maybe bring a bit of neutrality to it. Lots of games, lots of goals. Man City versus Napoli was another exciting game. Two exciting games. We're going to talk about Real Madrid versus Spurs in a second and how the press have looked at that one. But the comments from Guardiola, I think, were ones that sort of beamed around all the newspapers and, of course, all online. He's saying that, one, it was a perfect performance against Napoli in their 2-1 win, and then secondly that Napoli were the best team that he's ever played against.
I mean, it kind of fits into his agenda, doesn't it? He's making a point about English football there. He's also Napoli playing a similar style to his own, what he likes to see.
Which is very quick to make that comment as well, wasn't it? There's two good teams playing the same kind of way.
Yeah. I mean, all just a bit boring from him, and predictable. Well, he's just a bit irritating, isn't he? I mean, no doubt a magnificent manager, but just leave your agenda at the door, please, because every time you speak, it's just tinged with like a loaded statement. It's boring.
I've got to kind of agree with Flav on this one, because you're saying it's the best team I've ever played against, and you've beaten them.
Yeah.
It does feel it comes across slightly arrogant. If you disagree, let us know in the comments. Just to say, we will be in the comments and for the hour after the show this morning, so we can have a chat with you there, so make sure you get involved with that. Hit that notification bell as well so that you don't miss it every single weekday at 10 a.m. Moving on to Leicester City. Long Ball Street, me and Flav did that podcast yesterday, you can check that out, and the news had just broken, and I was quite happy about it.
Why?
I was quite happy about it because I felt like Ranieri had been let down at that time. He'd got enough credit in the bank to be given a longer period of time.
Yeah.
But the way that I think both the press and the fans and social media were so on his back, that is going to filter into the players.
The narrative was that it was Shakespeare all along that was the power behind the throne, but...
Yeah, and so rant coming your way, and it's early doors, but Martin Samuel from the Daily Mail has written an article this morning saying Craig Shakespeare's sacking by Leicester shows that Claudio Ranieri was the genius all along. He goes on to talk about how, we all thought, it was Steve Walsh and Shakespeare, they were the guys behind winning the league. But it turns out, apparently, according to Martin Samuel, that actually Ranieri was the jewel in the crown and that Shakespeare was rubbish. Now, I don't know what the answer is to that, which one of those is the most important. But the thing that I've got a problem with is that Shakespeare's not an awful manager. He's just been let down by his chairman or by John Rudkin, who brought him in. There's another article in The Guardian looking at how he just drove into work, took a friendly game for Leicester City and then was summoned by John Rudkin, the chief executive, and told that you're not doing it and you're out. And so, although it looks like 4 months or 8 months of him being in the manager's job, this is a guy who's been at Leicester City for 10 years.
Yeah.
And then he's just booted out the door.
Right. I mean, it's football, though, isn't it?
It is football, but my point is that Martin Samuel's saying that, it turns out Ranieri's a genius all along.
I think what it actually...
The point is that you're taking your narrative, and if someone's good or not good, based on the opinion of the chairman.
But that's what journalists do. It's the easiest thing for them.
But it's nonsense.
Yeah,
for me.
I mean, of course it is. They're just blokes that watch the game like us all, casting opinions like we do now. They're not. It is annoying. He's especially annoying, Samuel. But you know, I think what we actually think about Leicester, the truth is that it was probably a combination between Ranieri and Shakespeare, and they both had a positive influence until it turned sour, and probably both wanted to take a bit more of the credit than perhaps they deserved.
And I think there's an evolution of any team, and obviously it's a different kind of psychological situation that you've got to go through the next year, and they struggled a bit. But to make that comment that, that means because he's been sacked, that means he's rubbish now, is unfair on Shakespeare, and it's unfair on Ranieri before that. So, Martin Samuel, not happy with you. The Express are claiming that Leicester City are going to prepare an offer for Burnley boss Sean Dyche. I think that would be a great move for them.
You couldn't, but it's kind of a sideways step really now
for Dyche.
Yeah, so he's doing great things at Burnley. You've got a squad that trusts him. He's had a very good, solid start to the season with them. Why move? Why,
why move there where you've been allowed to do what you want and go to a club where the Thai owners have made it very clear that if you are not doing well, you are out of the door, regardless of what you've done before that.
Yeah.
So if I'm Sean Dyche, I think I'd leave that one.
Yes.
We haven't talked about Real Madrid versus Spurs. The title of this video, Liverpool making history, well done to them. But Spurs made a huge point yesterday, both literally and in a sense of showing what they can do and if they can compete with the best teams away from home.
Yeah, I mean, it was a sterling performance and that was enough to get us a draw, but I was over the moon and absolutely terrified while watching it, and it was just an incredible game of football. Sam Wallace in the Telegraph says that Hugo Lloris earned Spurs' historic point in action-packed night at the Bernabeu. So I've got a bit of an issue with this, right? Because Hugo Lloris did undoubtedly make an incredible save, but so did their keeper. I think there was so much more praise should be gone on the structure of the team and the tactics employed by Pochettino.
Yeah. For people who didn't see the game, so they played 4-4-2 essentially, and, sort of. But Llorente and Kane started the game. That's the big headline.
Yeah. So when I first saw the game, when I first saw the lineup, I was like, I don't know what that means. I had no idea. Actually, what happened is you saw Llorente and Kane switching constantly, and it was really. I mean, it worked well. Incredible to see, and As good as Tottenham's performance was, a draw was a fair result. It just see that the quality they've got on the ball, Real Madrid, is unbelievable. They're miles above them, and Pochettino did well to negate the obvious gap in quality between the two sides.
And did Dortmund draw?
They drew with Apple. Had to get a late goal.
So you're close.
Yeah,
close.
We probably need 2 points or a win against Apple at home.
Yeah, I think. Can't get 2 points against Apple, can you?
Well, yeah, 3 or
I know what you mean. And last story that we're going to talk about, if you hadn't seen yesterday's video, go and check that out. We talk about Mike Ashley and the fact that he's looking to sell the club, and if it's a move and the statement that they've made that they want to sell it by Christmas, if that's a smart move or if that's a kind of desperate ploy to smoke out those investors that aren't making a clear kind of bid for the club. I was also talking about Amanda Staveley in that she's a very impressive businesswoman who works with PCP, which is a company that were linked with it. What's quite interesting is the Chronicle Live has said that although Amanda Staveley and PCP don't want to sign an NDA, and there's other investors or potential investors that have signed an NDA, they won't do that. But Newcastle have come out and said, or they're claiming that Newcastle are saying that they're still happy to negotiate with Amanda Staveley and those guys. And apparently with PCP they've got 30 billion quid. So they're essentially going, okay, if you don't want to sign an NDA, if you don't want to keep this quiet, that's fine. Just please buy the club. That's what it looks like if this is true. The fact that she was spotted at the Liverpool-Newcastle game, from what I've read, is a big sign that they are interested and they want to be involved. So it'd be interesting to see how that one moves along. Maybe that is the one that they're going for. If they're not going to be, if they're okay for that one, those negotiations not to be private.
I mean, yeah, it is interesting. It's quite exciting times for Newcastle to finally get what we want. Before we leave, just a couple of things, questions in the comments and statements. Paul Mark Boo says, listen, yes, it's only Maribor, but they're the same team that put 5 past Seville. So LFC just not been converting chances. Apart from defending, we played much better than the results show. Transfer Zone said Pot show bottle to play both Kane and Llorente.
Absolutely.
Yes. So Messi is over round dated.
He's over round dated.
Yeah.
Interesting. So that's your lot. Liverpool making history. Spurs making their point. Both teams play each other this Sunday. You will have loads of reaction to that in One for the Weekend, which the podcast comes out Friday at 10 a.m, which Flav will be on.
Yep.
Getting excited about that big game. And then Sunday Breakdown, of course, on Sunday, where I'll be reacting to that game and the talking points from it. If you don't want to miss those or news at 10 every single weekday, what you got to do is hit that notification bell. Subscribe to Ball Street, like this video, and get involved in the comments because we're going to be having a chat for the next hour. And we will see you tomorrow with Sam from United People's TV, who'll be reacting to Man United's Champions League game tonight.